So your timing belt, and in some cases timing chain, is used to synchronize the rotation of your crankshaft down below to your camshaft up above. It ensures that the opening and the closing of the valves are in the right position as compared to the position of your piston. And if you don't recall, your engine valves are part of the cylinder head that allow air to go in and your exhaust to go out. So now, you did hear me right. There is a belt and there is a chain option. Belts are pretty much used for more smaller vehicles and older vehicles. Vehicles like this, the F-150, are going to be more using a chain because it's more heavy duty and it's going to last longer. So the biggest differences are the rubber one is going to be cheaper, it's going to be quieter, and it's going to have a shorter lifespan. It's going to last about 50,000 miles. Where your chain is going to be louder, more expensive, but it'll have a longer lifespan at around 100,000 miles. So now another big difference between the two is actually that the chain is going to be completely lubricated in oil and it's going to be completely covered up. Whereas the rubber one is actually going to be maybe just covered with a plastic cover and just to keep the dirt and debris off of it. And some of the newer ones are actually going to be lubricated as well. So another slight difference is actually how they run. So the rubber one is actually going to have teeth on the belt itself. It'll look like this. And the pulley system that's going to pull it around actually will have pockets in it that those teeth will fit perfectly in. Therefore, it will always be synchronized. It will never slip. The chain kind of has the opposite thing where the chain has holes in it and there's going to be teeth on the pulley system. Therefore, again, it will never slip. Now, again, with the rubber one, the way that it keeps tight is something called an idler pulley. And it's just going to be something that pushes on the back side of the belt. The belt on the back side is going to be smooth. So it'll just push up on that belt in order to make sure that that belt stays tight. So now with the chain, they actually have something called a chain tensioner and a chain guide. And that's going to be pretty much, the guide is going to be kind of connected at the bottom and it's going to be free floating. And the chain's just going to kind of ride alongside of that. And the chain tensioner is going to be on the outside of the upper part of that. And it's actually going to push that in. So the whole par will actually move in and back in order to make sure that that chain is at the right tightness. And that's actually one of the big issues with the timing chain is something called chain rattle. So if your vehicle's cold or you haven't driven in a while and you start it, when you drive and you let off the gas pedal, it'll kind of sound like your engine's rattling. That's your timing chain. It's because the oil hasn't warmed up enough in order to lubricate the chain enough in order to keep it tight. So once you drive it for a little bit, that chain rattle usually goes away. If it doesn't, that usually means there's something wrong with your tensioner or with your timing chain. So another good thing to remember is to change your oil often if you have a timing chain. If you have old oil or different kind of oil than what it's recommended, it could contaminate the oil and therefore it's getting bathed around the timing chain. So if the timing chain has a lot of contaminants in it, that could make your timing chain not last very long. And if you ever have to do maintenance on this, it takes a lot of work in order to get to either the belt or the chain. So usually if you're doing maintenance on one thing on it, if you're replacing the chain, if you're replacing the belt, you usually are recommended to replace the tensioner, the pulley, and sometimes even the water pump because the water pump gets run by that at the same time. They all wear at the same speed. So if you replace one, you should just replace all of it. The amount of money you're going to pay in labor for them to get to it, it's actually cheaper just to do it all in one shot. And it's actually shown that if you replace just the belt and not like the water pump or any of these other parts, it'll actually make your belt last about 50% less. So there you have it, guys. Timing belt, timing chains, everything you need to know. If you're interested in more information about like how to know if it's going bad or how to change it or anything, I'll put some videos up in the corner here. Click that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.